2011, when the king was still a prince.
The crown prince of kickboxing.
And Goliath was born.
Ben Sadiq actually holds a win over Rico Verhoeven. It was Ben Sadiq's first A-level opponent, and the first time that Verhoeven, much more experienced, had ever been stopped.
One had guts.
There's a straight right by Ben Sadiq.
Big shot there by Ben Sadiq.
The other, glory.
And still, glory heavyweight champion of the world.
Now, the rematch. For revenge. For respect.
I beat him once, he's nothing.
Let's make it happen, man. I'm ready for this guy.
For redemption. On December 9th, in this very ring, two heavyweight titans collide, not only for a world championship, but for a shot at redemption. Hello, my name is Todd Grisham. In Rotterdam, the Netherlands, it finally happens. A rematch 6.5 years in the making. Rico Verhoeven versus the Goliath, Jamal Ben Sadiq. Coming up, we'll hear from both fighters and find out how this rematch finally came to be. Plus, my broadcast colleague Joseph Valtellini joins me to break it all down. And we'll take a look at the rest of this amazing card, which includes a rematch of the 2016 Fight of the Year between Daniel Ilunga and Michael Duke. When we return to Inside Glory Redemption, I'll be joined by my broadcast partner, Bazooka Joe Joseph Valtellini, as we take a closer look at the king of kickboxing.
Live on UFC.tv, Saturday, December 9th.
It's over!
It's Jamal Big Ben Sadiq
I beat him once, he's nothing.
taking on Rico, the king of kickboxing, Verhoeven for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, it's redemption.
Glory Redemption, Saturday, December 9th, only on UFC.tv.
Joining me now is the former Glory welterweight champion of the world, my broadcast colleague, Joseph Valtellini. Let's break down Rico Verhoeven. No one's going to do it better than you, at least we hope so. That's why we brought you on the show. What makes Rico Verhoeven so special?
Well, I've got to fight on many cards with Rico, and what makes him so good is that he constantly gets better. We saw him first enter Glory at Glory 4 Tokyo, and he lost to Semi Schilt, which, asking him about it, he said that was actually a good confidence booster for him. For those who don't know, Semi Schilt is probably one of the most dominant kickboxers in kickboxing history.
He's a monster.
He's huge, he's tall, and people have a hard time with his reach. And when Rico fought him, he was such a young kid. So learning from that fight, Rico got a lot of confidence. He said after that fight, he knew he could fight anyone in the world. If he was able to fight the giant and not get knocked out and able to go 3 rounds with them, he can fight anyone anytime. So that gave him the most confidence that he could possibly continue to go on. And then we saw him just dominate and tear the division from there on.
Yeah, that was the only fight he's ever lost in Glory. 15 wins overall in Glory, just 1 loss. What fight was it, though, where you saw Rico and you thought this guy is going to be the real deal?
Well, his first start at Glory 11 Chicago, you saw him enter a 4-man tournament that had Daniel Guida, Gokhan Saki, and he was able to beat both of those guys in 1 night. From that, it catapulted him to Glory 17 Last Man Standing, where it was a cool experience for me because that was the day I won my world title alongside Rico. So
you won a world title?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, last time I checked. But yeah, Rico was just so dominant, and that's when I knew this guy was going to be a star. He was big. He knew how to talk in front of a camera. He had the personality, and he had just the technique to just blow through anyone. He's powerful. He's got good distance control, and that's what makes him so dangerous. He knows how to control the fight. Most fighters go in and you ask them how they're going to beat their opponent. It doesn't matter to Rico. Rico fights his way, and he just dominates every time he does.
I know you love low kicks, but Rico's low kicks are on another level. What is it like to get hit with a low kick by Rico Verhoeven?
Well, you got to look at the size of his legs, but a lot of it is accuracy. He's very accurate with his low kicks. Yes, he has the big legs, but he's very strategic in when he lands it. So a good low kick is about timing. So when you see Rico land it, it always has good precision and good timing, and he mixes it up. He just doesn't throw to the lead leg. You'll see him go to the back leg. He finished Anderson Braddock Silva by hitting the back leg of a low kick, which is one of the hardest low kicks to land.
And we saw what he did to Bigfoot Silva. in China. The sounds of those low kicks were just echoing throughout the arena.
Yeah, and it was actually the low kick that set up the finish, and that's when he was able to finish with his boxing. Once you have someone's legs hurt, especially from a big leg like that, you're not moving forward.
Well, Joe, as far as all-time rankings go, people love this stuff. Where does Rico rank among the great heavyweights in kickboxing?
Well, kickboxing, the heavyweight division is always the biggest, most popular division like you find in boxing. And historically, there's been so many successful big names in kickboxing, like Ernesto Hoost, Peter Aerts, you have Jerome LeBanner, Andy Hoog. And the more Rico wins and he shows his dominance, he's right up there. You could easily put him with the greatest within the sport.
In the UFC, you think George St. Pierre, you think Anderson Spider Silva. You know, we used to think John Jones before he melted down. But is Rico among those type of class fighters?
Well, definitely. You got to look. He's on a 14-fight win streak. He's on his 6th title defense. He just keeps winning. Until there's someone who could even give him a challenge, you got to put him as one of the greatest so far.
All right, we've talked enough about Rico. Let's hear from the man himself. Here is the king of kickboxing.
I lost the fight 6 years ago. I made a mistake and I made the low kick when I was looking down towards his leg to look where I was hitting him. And yeah, that's the biggest mistake you can make. It's an amateur mistake. If you look at the difference between 2011 Rico and Rico of 2017, yeah, it's a totally different person. I've been fighting the best of the best for a few years now, with so many people watching, and that gives you pressure. So many cameras on your face, media, and people that expect you to win, expect you to put up a good fight. That's hard. That's just tough, and like I said, it evolves you as a fighter and definitely as a human being. I'm mentally so much stronger than I was then, and that's all because of all the things that happen in life.
Rico, begin met Dex.
Nice for you to join us inside Glory.
Yeah, this fight came about. He had a big mouth, so he called me into the ring. We made the stare down. Let's do it.
And I'm the boss right now. You know, I'm the king of the jungle. And if he wants it, try and come and get it, baby.
He motivates me a little bit more because he said some stupid things about coming after my team and coming after my family. I'm like, are we mobsters or are we athletes, sportsmen? I'm just gonna do what I need to be doing, and that's focus on the fight and make sure I'm gonna kick his ass.
I see in 11 Glory fights, I think 3 knockouts. Maybe he make a lot of knockouts outside of Glory against lower-ranked, lower opponents. Okay, that's possible. There he can use his power, but now he needs to show his power to the guys who have the real distance feeling, who have the real. And then you see in the analytics that there are even not too much knockouts.
We never lost a fight against Ben Sadik. We have won 3 times over Ben Sadik, Jaffa Wilnis, Peter Aerts and Brian Dowers. And we have some points that will be very interesting for the preparation for Rico, so I'm for sure he will win.
He is the reigning Glory Heavyweight Champion of the world. He is the king of kickboxing.
I'm gonna make him pay to let him suffer a lot. He's gonna go through a lot of pain during this fight.
When you go immediately aggressive with Jamal, you see he likes to give punches, but getting punches is another way. So maybe Rico do the same like against Errol years ago.
Big heavyweights.
Maybe endurance, maybe aggressive. I don't know, man. I don't know. We have to see.
He's a scared little bitch. And I'm gonna show that the 9th of December, he's gonna see every corner of this ring for 5 rounds. Then in the last few seconds, I'm gonna knock him out.
Take us back to Glory 7. What do you remember about that, the first fight of your winning streak?
Yeah, versus Jonathan Dennis. He was a rushing in fighter. He was on the ground like half of the time, so it was perfect.
Glory 9, New York City versus Zimmerman.
There was a lot of tension for me on that fight because it was a rematch, and the first time he knocked me out. But I won every round, so yeah.
Glory 11 tournament style. What are you thinking?
I focused only on sake because that's how you win. That's how you go into a tournament. After that, we had Gita, but I was training with Gita for years back then. So I knew him inside out, and I knew I could break him because I broke him many times in the gym.
What a fight! What a night in the Windy City!
I still remember people say I got lucky. Say, but that's like winning the lottery twice in one evening, you know, with beating the number 1 and the number 2 in one night. So I don't believe in luck.
So then you get to fight your idol. Take us back to that moment when you're standing across the ring from Peter Aerts.
Still give me goosebumps because I saw every fight of Peter Aerts.
June 2014, last man standing. What do you remember about that night?
I was really sick. I had a fever and everything for like 4 days. It was a good fight.
Glory 19, a rematch against Zimmerman.
Yeah, Zimmerman, he won the tournament, so he got another shot at the title, but no chance at all.
Back-to-back fights, he's out of Bowie. Take us back to that moment.
He was a really skilled fighter after the first round was finished.
December 2015, same opponent, but maybe your best highlight reel knockout.
After 5 years, coming back into Holland, being the champion, defending my title, like in my home country, that was an amazing feeling.
Rico fighting the perfect fight right now, everything.
It was like, boom, you see? People saying I can't knock anybody out.
Then you go to Paris, France.
That was fun. It was a good fight, and you know, Brestovac is definitely a good competitor.
So now in Trenton, New Jersey, you're fighting Anderson Silva.
Yeah, we train on the inside low kick, and it worked.
He got successes. He's mixing the level with his kicks. He's going low, and then he mixes in the high kicks. Products has no idea where the kicks are coming.
The fight is over!
And then it was Glory Collision for the biggest fight of your life and one of the biggest kickboxing fights in history. Take us back.
Waiting for Rico versus Bonner. As intense as you'll see in any sport, anywhere in the world.
I'm there, I'm the champ, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling ready for this fight. I was relaxed, I was focused, shown that I'm just maturing up every fight.
Well, hey, you beat Badr Hari, not the way you wanted to. He had to retire with an arm injury, but nevertheless, it's a victory, and hopefully we see a rematch there. But after that fight, you stepped into the ring with a guy just as big, at least in one sense of the word, and Ismail Lazar, and you won again.
I really like someone that gets into the ring with me and wants to put up a fight, but in the end thinks like, what the hell am I doing here?
Finally, let's talk about your last fight. In China, you faced off against Bigfoot Silva.
He was a really skilled fighter, and he was trying to land as many shots as possible, but because of that, his energy went down really fast. So, and after the first round, he had nothing to say anymore. It was finished.
Well, your next challenge may be your toughest ever. You've got to go 5 rounds with the Goliath.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready for 5 rounds, 10 rounds, doesn't matter to me. I'm predicting this fight to go about 2 rounds, maybe 3, but I hope 2 rounds.
Up next, the challenger, and one of the only men to knock out the king. He's the Goliath, Jamal Big Ben City.
Live on UFC.tv, Saturday, December 9th. It's Jamal Big Ben Sadiq.
I beat him once, he's nothing.
Taking on Rico, the king of kickboxing Verhoeven for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, it's redemption.
Glory Redemption, Saturday, December 9th, only on UFC.tv.
I'm joined once again by my broadcast colleague, Bazooka Joe, Joseph Valslini, getting geared up for December 9th. It is Glory Redemption, Rico Verhoeven versus Jamal Ben Sadiq. This guy is a mountain of a man.
Yeah, they call him Big Ben because he's 270 pounds, 6'9", he's just a monster. And when you're gonna see him and Rico, and you see how big Rico is, especially with those big legs he has, Jamal Ben Sadiq is just at a different height and different size than Rico.
He's the Goliath, and he has a win over Rico Verhoeven.
Yeah.
It happened way back in 2011 From what you've seen from that fight, how did he get the job done?
Well, it's the power. He's got one punch power. He's got an 80% knockout ratio. So you know that man's got power. And being 270 pounds, when that punch lands, it's over. And a lot of times, even if someone's blocking their head, if that punch even hits your block, it's going to put you out. When he fought Rico last time, he just was able to find that one punch right through the guard of Rico and just put Rico right out.
Obviously, when you've beaten a man once, you've got a mental edge over him. But considering it happened, what, almost 7 years ago, is that edge still there for Sadiq?
Well, according to him and his team at Hemmer's Gym, they feel it's still there. They think the same result is going to happen. They're confident. They almost guaranteed a knockout over Rico.
You mentioned his power. Besides that, what does he have to offer?
Well, it's just that ring size that he has. When he stands in the middle of the ring, he's just a big presence to have. We talked to guys he's fought in the past, like Gudo Innocent. He said he didn't realize how big Big Ben was when he was in the ring with him. Gudo was trying to move, he said, but Big Ben just kept hitting him, and it was so hard to move around, and it was exhausting to try to run from that power all the time. So he has that ring presence that makes him a very scary giant.
When you look around the landscape of the heavyweight division right now, is Jamal Sadiq the only guy that can give Rico a test at this point?
I think he's the perfect contender to do it, having beat him before and showing how much power he has. He's had a little layoff, so hopefully he's been able to prove and recover in that time. But I think right now he's the biggest threat to Rico.
If you're Nick Hemmers, the trainer for Jamal Sadiq, what's your game plan going into that fight?
Well, with Rico, you can't let him dictate the pace of the fight. So you have two choices if you're Big Ben Sadiq. You can either take the fight to Rico and just kind of give him all you can right off the beginning, or take your time, pace yourself, try to draw Rico in and try to catch him with the power. It's going to be a 5-round fight, so if I was coaching Big Ben Sadiq, I would tell him to take his time, maybe sit behind his jab and try to pull Rico in, and when Rico comes in, that's when you want to catch him.
And what does Sadiq need to watch out for when it comes to Rico?
Well, it's that systematic breakdown that Rico does. He's going to come in, sit behind his jab, and he's just going to keep chopping away at the legs. But that's also dangerous for Rico, because every time Rico throws a kick, that's when the timing of Ben Sadiq's power is going to come. So he's going to try to shut down Rico's low kicks with the power punch.
Sadiq's won 5 glory fights in a row, 3 by way of knockout. Is he right now in the prime of his career?
Well, I would say so. He's fought the best in his career all the time. He never took easy fights, but having a 5-fight win streak is a lot of momentum for him, and momentum in fighting plays a big role. So he's going to have to use that streak and try to shut down Rico. And that confidence, if you're going to fight Rico, you got to have all the confidence in the world in yourself. Your team's got to have it in you. Everyone surrounding you has to believe in you.
And what will Jamal Sadiq's career look like if he's able to beat Rico Verhoeven in December?
Well, he's going to put himself as one of the most dominant champions, because he's beat Rico twice, and everyone who's tried to beat Rico hasn't even come close. So a man to beat him twice, you got to put them up there as one of the pound-for-pound best.
On 9th of December, I become world heavyweight champion, and it will mean everything to me, because I am working my whole life for this. And the 9th of December, that will be the moment I raise my hands and take the belt back home.
You know what I want, yes? I want Rico, man. I waited too long for this. I beat him once, so where is Rico?
I was waiting for that moment. I was waiting for the moment he will step into the ring to fight me. I'm 100% for sure that he's not happy that he is fighting me.
There's a clubbing right hand that drops Keita. Coming in again to the corner. Ben Sadiq, one shot, drops Silva. There it is. The one bullet in his chamber lands.
My first professional fight was against Rico Verhoeven in 2011. I beat him on knockout. We are in Breda Hemmer's Gym, and I will show you guys a normal training session. And it's the first time in my life that I can focus on my kickboxing for 100%, because like everybody know, I think I had a difficult couple of years.
If this punch hits somebody on the face, he will not get up that evening.
My health is good, my body listens to me. This is the first time that I feel very confident.
Paul,
I can't explain it, you have to feel it. It's like tsunami.
It's normal, people gonna see a different Jamal bin Saddik, and I will show you guys 9th of December that difficult times don't last forever.
All right, let's have our big stare down. Court, good luck keeping these guys apart. Here we go.
This fight calls for redemption. I think it's redemption for him because he lost once from me. So I give him a chance to fight me again.
Yeah.
It is probably my biggest fight till now.
Look, I respect him as a good athlete. He's a strong, good athlete. But I'm a fighter, and I come to fight, and I come to knock people out.
At Amsterdam, we had a second stare down, and I was looking into his face, and I was looking at his eyes, and I was seeing he was not so happy that he was standing in front of me, and it's for sure that I'm gonna knock him out. I am fighting for years, and I fight every day. I have every day a fight. I fight every day against my health, against in my kickboxing. Maybe I have more experience in fighting games, but I am the real fighter. Make sure you see this fight, because I am become the new world heavyweight champion. I think he know me. He act like he don't know me. I think he know me very, very well. I knocked him down once in 2012, I think. So if he is the champion, if he calls himself the king of kickboxing, let him fight me.
This young fighter has been a part of kickboxing's biggest finishes. Fighting tonight out of Morocco, please welcome Jamal, the Goliath bin Saddik.
I just fight my fights like always. And I promise, like always, what I do in my fights, I go for the knockout.
There's a clubbing right hand that drops Kickboxing.
They're gonna see from the first seconds a big guy searching for the action.
And again to the corner, bin Saddik, one shot, drops Silva. There it is, the one bullet in his chamber lands.
Encountered by bin Saddik, who keeps moving forward. Landing shots at will now.
Bin Saddik fires back like that right hand. That was a good shot. And keeping Jamal. He has to watch out for that. He has to be more like hands up. Oh, big punches by bin Saddik.
Let's see, fight me, then we're gonna see who's the real champion, you know? I pushed myself to the limit for this fight. I'm gonna give the people something extra for this fight, so that means much for me.
Peter going right after the leg. Oh, big shot there from Saddik, gets through.
I only fight the best, and I can beat all of you.
Oh, and down goes Arts! Big shot there by bin Saddik.
Body kick and the straight right hand, and down goes Bonyaski. Oh, and he now begins to blaster Zimmerman in the corner. Zimmerman blocking a lot of those punches, but the left hand gets through. Right, misses again with the right haymaker. There's a straight right by bin Saddik that hurts Zimmerman, and Zimmerman is down.
Jamal bin Saddik!
Rico, who do you think deserves to fight you next for the world title if you could pick your opponent?
Like if Jamal with his big mouth wants, he can get it.
You know what I want, yes? I have said yesterday, I want Rico, man. I waited too long for this. I beat him once, so where is Rico? Come into the ring, man, come. I waited too long for you. I beat him once. I beat him once, it's nothing.
When we come back, Joe and I will give you our predictions and take a look at the other fights that make up the outstanding Glory Redemption card.
Live on UFC.tv, Saturday, December 9th.
It's over!
It's Jamal Big Ben Sadiq.
I beat him once, it's nothing.
Taking on Rico, the king of kickboxing Verhoeven for the heavyweight title.
Yeah, it's redemption.
Glory Redemption, Saturday, December 9th, only on UFC.tv.
Todd and Joe back with you. We've already talked to Rico. We've already heard from Jamal Big Ben Sadiq. Let's talk about the X's and O's, your favorite part of kickboxing. Yep. What is this fight going to look like?
Well, it can look two different ways, and I think the systematic breakdown of Rico Verhoeven versus the one-punch knockout power of Jamal Ben Sadiq. It's how is this fight going to play? I feel the early advantages go to Big Ben Sadiq because he has that power, and Rico does have to take his time. He doesn't want to open up because he knows he has that much power, and having been knocked out by him in the past, he's going to stay extra technical. Where I think the later rounds were 3, 4, and 5, if it goes that far, that's where Rico's going to find his momentum, he's going to find his combinations, and let me tell you, his low kicks are going to do some damage.
For Ben Sadiq, what's the one mistake he can't afford to make in this fight?
I feel he can't be a standing target. If he just stands against the rope and let Rico mix levels with his shots, land his kicks, he's going to be in big trouble. He's got to push Rico backwards, he's got to go forward.
And for Rico?
For Rico, he's got to move. I don't think Big Ben Sadiq is going to move around and let him control the center of the ring that he loves so much in all of his fights. Big Ben Sadiq's going to try to stand there, land his power. I think he's going to try to get Rico to fight on the outside. Will Rico do it? Probably not. So I think it's going to be a big clash in the middle of the ring.
All right, Joe, one final question for you, and you got to answer it. Who wins this fight and why?
Well, my heart's telling me Rico Verhoeven. He's just been so dominant. Any challenger he has really hasn't had a shot against him. He really hasn't given him a big fight. So 51-49, Rico Verhoeven. What's your thoughts?
Boy, you didn't ride the fence, but you came close, 51-49.
Very close.
All right, you want my prediction? You know the old phrase, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Sadiq's already knocked out Rico once. I'm not betting against him again. I got Jamal Ben Sadiq by KO victory over the king of kickboxing. We'll see if it happens. December 9th, it's Glory Redemption. Can't wait to call it with you, buddy.
Thank you.
3 more big matchups across 3 divisions round out the card at Glory Redemption. First up, the featherweights fly as 2 young and hungry fighters battle for title contention. Glory 39 contender tournament winner Pet Panamarun Kiatbukal of Thailand has 4 electrifying wins since his debut in Glory. His only setback, a razor-thin loss to Robin van Roosmalen in a world title fight. Across the campus, the dynamic Zakaria Zugari, unbeaten in Glory. The unpredictable Dutchman will be looking for his 3rd win on home soil and a big jump up in the ranking. Next up, the heavyweights and one of the most anticipated returns in Glory. California knockout artist Xavier Bigny steps back into the spotlight as he faces former world title challenger Brazil's Anderson Braddock Silva. Bigny has 5 straight wins in Glory, 3 by knockout, but has been absent since Glory 28, focusing on professional boxing. Back from the wilderness, he'll be looking to make good use of those hands and stop the always dangerous Silva in his tracks. And finally, we drop down a division for the light heavyweight and the rubber match in an instant classic trilogy that saw Michael Duke and Daniel Ilunga win Fight of the Year in 2016. One of the most thrilling fights in Glory history. Both fighters went toe-to-toe, taking turns to knock each other down in front of an ecstatic, sold-out crowd in Germany. Ruled a draw, the fight went an extra round.
Boy, oh no! That'll seal it! Michael Duke will win this fight! There he is! Michael Duke, the man's man! That's how you win a fight!
Duke comes off the back of a contender tournament win at Glory 45, winning both fights by way of knockout and earning himself another Fight of the Night award. With 1 win apiece, could Duke Ilunga Part 3 take the prize? Don't bet against it. The time has finally arrived. Both men will make this walk on December 9th. Rico Verhoeven and Jamal Big Ben Sadiq finally have their rematch that's been nearly 7 years in the making. Will the Goliath finally claim his World Heavyweight Championship, or will it be Rico Verhoeven who finds his redemption? I'm Todd Grisham, and I'll see you
in Rotterdam.